So I decided to do another breakdown of my submission for the Endless Engines challenge. This one was a tough one for me and I struggled a lot, so let's see what I did.
Very complex hyper-maximalism.
Blurry. Okay, so hopefully this is the future, but things go crazy nowadays, so yeah, let's enjoy the process as long as we can. So I started the block out for the Doofwagon, which turns out to be very stupid because this vehicle is wild of details, and I really cursed myself that I choose this kind of model. Luckily enough, there was a great reference on TurboSquid, even though the model was too expensive for me, but I tried my best to replicate the overall look of the Doofwagon. And then really start block out all the little details that comes with this vehicle. Here and there I just fill up all the details with some models that I found on Sketchfab, so once again, thanks to all the awesome people that share their stuff on this awesome page. But yeah, this is how it turns out, and it was a good challenge anyway because I never did any hard surface modeling before. So this was a fun task to do, to really, you know, jump into the cold water and try my best to get a great result. As a next step, I was rigging the Doofwagon, and for this one I was using the RBC add-on, which is great when it comes to rigging cars, trucks, motorcycles, whatsoever. It's pretty affordable and easy to use, so you can really quickly set up your rig and start animating. Therefore you just have to make the right collections, especially for the wheels, the vehicle body and the vehicle trailer. And then you can pretty easily set up your vehicle. Even though it was a little bit more complicated in my case because I had so many details along the vehicle, so I had to proper parent stuff to different parts of the body to make the physics of this car work. And then I spent a lot of time balancing the simulation of the rig, because my original plan was to use a very displaced road, but because of the height of the tower, the simulation went a little bit too crazy for my taste, so I balanced down the road and make it a little bit more even, so that the shakiness of the rig was not too crazy and matches better with the original footage of the Mad Max movie. Next up I was creating the environment of my scene and used the BaggerPie add-on for distributing some assets along the way, especially rocks and dry sticks and dead trees, all that kind of stuff. Because I realized in the original movie there was no foliage, no vegetation, not even a cactus, so I was really focusing on rocks and really just create kind of like a dry desert feeling and try to balance the foreground, midground and background elements to create a pleasing and balancing environment for the animation. Originally the plan was to recreate the opening scene of the Doof Warrior in the film, with a lot of cars in the background and just, you know, like the Doof Warrior as the center of all of this. And I soon realized that this was maybe a little bit too complicated because of all the other vehicles and a little bit too boring for the overall look, so I decided to switch into the Sandstorm, even though it is not really part of the film. But I thought, hey, why not? It's my version of this, so let's pretend it's a normal Tuesday for the Doof Warrior driving through a sandstorm. Actually, my sandstorm turns out to be a modification of the tutorial that you can find on the Bad Normals channel. In this episode he's trying to create kind of like a water tornado, and I adjusted the settings to take the look of a sandstorm. And then start playing around with some point lights to emulate lightning that is inside of the storm. But it turns out to just not look that good, so I had a happy incident where I was playing around with the emissions trench, and this way I was able to lighten up the sandstorm and moreover lighten up my overall scene, so I was not in need for another HDRI. And yeah, this turns out great, but was not originally planned, so it was a happy incident. After that I animated some additional lightning to emulate that the impact is closer to the Doofwagon as the background element suggests, and then really just play around with lights, with colors, with settings to get a feeling for the chaos that is kind of like happening in this scene. And then just added in some practical lights, especially for the spots for the Doof Warrior and the spots for the Doofwagon, and then just, yeah, again play around with different settings. In the end I added in a principal volume shader to make the light spots more visible. and this turns out great and gave me a better feeling for what the direction of the animation will go. For the Doof Warrior, I actually resculpted an existing character that I used for a previous project and then used the sculpting brushes from Blender just to get a new shape out of the face. And after this I was retopologizing the character using Retopoflow from CG Cookie, and then I just used the essential loops that are necessary at the different parts of the face and at the arms and legs to really just solve the puzzle and do the tedious but necessary work for the later rigging stage. Therefore I used the AutoRig Pro add-on, which is great when it comes to setting up different types of characters, and at the very end I just do some basic weight painting on different parts of the body to get a better result when it comes to the animation stage. Then I unwrap the character and bring the mesh inside of Substance Painter, where I just do the basic texturing for the Doof Warrior and the skin, and then just reset up the texture maps that I created in Substance Painter inside of Blender. Then I textured all the individual parts of the Doof Wagon, and really once again I cursed myself that I choose Mad Max as my theme for the submission for the Endless Engines challenge. But anyway, it was a lot of fun and it turned out great, so everything's fine. Then I created the outfit of the Doof Warrior inside of Marvelous Designer, which is still the best software when it comes to clothes simulation. And then I just add in some rough animation that I did with Blender to get a feeling for the overall motion of the Doof Warrior playing guitar. And then once again simulating the clothes inside of Marvelous Designer and adding some wind effects to enhance the realism, because I mean someone is standing in front of a truck while driving through a sandstorm, so why not? Talking about simulation, there were a lot of stuff to cover, for example a dust wheel simulation, sandstorm simulation, the ground explosion for the later lightning strike, and then some secondary motion, for example for the chain which is in front of the Doof Wagon, and of course some cable physics for the Doof Warrior while playing guitar. In the composite stage I use After Effects, so add in some VFX passes like the lightning strikes and the flamethrower. And then I just tweak a lot of settings, just add in stuff like a drummer and the cloak for the drummer and some background elements like the vehicle and some lens flares for the Doof Wagon and stuff like that. And the only thing that was really missing was the sound. So here's my professional solution. Plug in your $30 preamp inside of the sound boxes of your PC, use your microphone to just kind of like record all of this crap, and then mix down all the stuff inside Premiere Pro with the different passes to get kind of like this grungy garage band like sound. And yeah, it works. Kind of. And at the end, when everything is done and you feel very confident that this time you will get under the top 100, you look up YouTube and see all these incredible competitors and you realize, no, still not good enough. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Good luck to all the competitors and see you next time. Bye!